Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And boy, oh boy, we have an interesting episode here for you. So make sure you go and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So I believe it was probably in January of this year. Obviously, it depends on when you see this video. But I believe it was in January this year. We produced the show. And I came up with a suggestion, or maybe it was in December, I don't remember, one of those months. And I came up with a suggestion that I said the Lakers should try to trade for Kyrie Irving. And many of the people laughed me off the stage. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, you're trying to trade for me, you crazy? Oh, blah, 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 blah. But now, apparently people that are on TV putting on suits, when they say it, oh my God, wow, this is, that's a thought. What a thought. That's a topic. Interesting. Should we consider that? Quite interesting. I never thought about it. I proposed this idea. I said that Kyrie Irving, his skill set could greatly benefit the Los Angeles Lakers in relation to what Russell Westbrook is currently bringing them. Now, let's get into the backstory of this. As y'all are fully aware, sources have been saying, there have been reports around Kyrie Irving basically saying that he's at an impasse with the Brooklyn Nets over the duration of his contract. I think Kyrie Irving wants a super max for 5 years. I think he wants a $250 million contract, basically paying him roughly $50 million a year. And some sources are saying that the Nets are a little bit trepidatious about giving him a supermax contract, right? So they're saying that there's an impasse, and maybe Kyrie Irving may be tempted to test the free agent market, et cetera, right? Which now brought up the scenario of Kyrie Irving possibly going to play with other teams, right? And of course, the Lakers came into the mix, but the Lakers have been in the mix. We recently produced a show 2 or 3 days ago about a report that said that the Lakers were seriously considering going after Bradley Beal with the Washington Wizards. As y'all know, Bradley Beal has an expiring contract. He's earning about $36.4 million this year in his last year. Russell Westbrook has a $47 million contract with the Lakers. He's also in his last year of his contract. And some people speculated that, okay, maybe they can package together a deal, get another player to match the salaries, and then make it work. Obviously, as y'all know, trades for in order for them to take place, the salaries have to be similar. So some people speculate, okay, that could possibly work. And in that video, I discussed how, the pros and cons of Bradley Beal potentially becoming a Laker, and obviously Washington reacquiring Russell Westbrook. So we discussed that. In the case of Kyrie Irving, I have a number of thoughts. Here are the pros. If Kyrie Irving were to join the Lakers, here are the pros of that trade. Number one, Kyrie Irving already has a history of playing with LeBron James, right? And him and LeBron already have a proven track record. They won a championship together, I believe it was in 2016, right? Y'all remember the shot that they hit. For all of the friction that they had in terms of the clashes, their personality clashes, LeBron and Kyrie Irving were a great duo. They were a great pairing, right? Their games complemented each other. LeBron is a natural playmaker. He's a pass-first kind of guy. And Kyrie Irving is a natural scorer, more than a playmaker, although he has the ability to distribute the basketball at a high level. So that's the first thing. They have chemistry together. Number two, Kyrie Irving has a lot of playoff experience. He has been in the playoffs. Some people say, well, he hasn't really had much playoff success, but he still has been in the playoffs. And also, he has that championship experience, and he has the championship confidence, unlike Russell Westbrook, who has also made it to the NBA Finals and lost to the Miami Heat, I believe it was in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, against Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh. So there's that. Now, how else could he help the Lakers? Obviously, one of the issues he could help them with is with their spacing, because Russell Westbrook provides no spacing whatsoever. So if you have Kyrie Irving on the floor, he will undoubtedly be the best shooter on the floor, because Kyrie Irving is an extremely efficient basketball player. Just 2 seasons ago, Kyrie Irving just averaged a triple-double. I mean, not a triple-double. He went 50. He had a 50-40-90 season, shooting 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line, and 90% from the free throw line. So Kyrie Irving is that efficient of a basketball player, and I think he would work wonders for that Lakers offense. However, the number one issue that the Lakers had last season was their defense. I'm not sure how Kyrie Irving sorts that out for them. He's a hell of a... Kyrie Irving could be a great defender when he wants to be, but he's not known as a defender, and he's never made an all-defensive team, not even one time in his NBA career, not even an all-third defensive team, Kyrie Irving is not known for being a ball stop. I mean, for being able to guard the basketball. And that's something that they're going to need. Why? Because the Lakers on average last season gave up more points than they scored to opponents. And that's an issue. That's the reason why they lost so many games. The Clippers scored less points per game than the Lakers, but they held their opponents to lower points per game, and therefore they had a closer record that was closer to the 500 mark. The Lakers simply could not guard anybody last year. So even though if they're still able to get a Kyrie Irving, they're still going to have issues, which brings me to my next proposal. And I think some people brought that in, which is also bringing in Ben Simmons. If you bring in Ben Simmons, you now have a bona fide defender, right? And a playmaker, which means that LeBron can now focus a little bit on scoring and probably playing some better defense, right? And then you have an all NBA defensive type of player, Anthony Davis, and one would hope he would remain healthy. And if I'm Anthony Davis, and I'm being honest with you guys, I would actually try to focus on the defensive side of the ball. If I'm being honest with you, I wouldn't really focus on scoring. They need a lot of rim protection. They need a big, they can show in those pick and rolls and recover back to the basket and really guard the paint. The Lakers last season, opponents could get pretty much anything that they wanted against the Lakers. And if they're going to be successful next season, they need to play defense. That's if they have Kyrie Irving or they don't. Now, here is the downside of all of this. The biggest downside. And the downside is this. What if they get Kyrie Irving and it doesn't work? What I think happens in that particular case is this. Kyrie Irving is going to be blamed again. He's going to be blamed again. That's the first thing, right? There's a high probability that he may be turned into the scapegoat. That's number one. Number two, is Kyrie Irving going to be available to play all of the basketball games even if he's healthy? Are we going to have similar situations like that we experienced with the Brooklyn Nets? And I think that's one of the main reasons the Brooklyn Nets are a bit trepidatious about giving him that supermax, which is his availability. Health, players can get injured all the time. But they're wondering, is Kyrie Irving going to pull some of the stunts that he pulled over the last few years? That's something else to be cautious about. And these are the questions that the Lakers are going to have to answer. But if you're asking me, if I could swap Russell Westbrook with Kyrie Irving, I would do it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't waste a second of my time even mulling it over, thinking about it. I would make that decision. And I would roll the dice and hope that AD stays healthy. But obviously some people are saying you would package AD for Kyrie Irving. And then I think if you do that, you're basically trying to recreate the old Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think you're going to put a lot of pressure on LeBron James. I would rather try to get rid of Russell Westbrook than also trying to move AD. But these are just my thoughts and opinions. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about what I said? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.